Hello, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going to talk about my Cartier ring. So I have that on right here. Should also note that I have the Love wedding band and not the ring. So the one that I have is a bit thinner than the regular ring version, but I think it looks better on my hands because I don't have super long fingers. So that's why I went with the wedding band. So I wanted to talk about the wear and tear on it, some pros and cons, and also what you should think about if you're considering getting the ring. So let's dive right into that. So first things first, when you buy the ring, it comes in this box here. So it's a cute little Cartier box and you can open that. And then it comes with another box in it. So this is where the ring is held and this is what it looks like. I currently have it on, so it's not in the box, but if we put it back, it looks like this and it's so pretty. Something that I think is interesting about the box is the fact that the top is like so much larger than the bottom is. So you see that there, like this is huge and then this is so tiny. The top is not as heavy as the bottom part, but yeah, something that's interesting. So along with the box, I also got this travel pouch for the ring that I actually use quite a bit. So this is what it looks like. Then when you open it, it just has a little Cartier thing here. And yeah, so I use this whenever I'm traveling and I don't want to carry the box around because the box is kind of big. So next I'll dive into the pros and cons of this ring. So a couple of the pros to start out, it is made of solid 18 karat gold, so it is so shiny. And I just love looking at the ring from far away, and from close up you can just see how shiny it is. And yeah, I love that about it. Another thing is that since it's solid gold, it's pretty heavy, and I actually like that. I mean, it's a small ring, so you don't really feel it on your fingers, but like when you pick it up, you can feel that it's pretty heavy. So like to me, it makes it feel like it's more worth it because it doesn't feel like plasticky or anything like that. Another thing is that it's just a classic piece. The Love collection has been around for such a long time. It's always in style and it's so simple. It's also stackable with basically anything. I mean, the ring is so simple that I've seen a lot of people wear infinity diamond bands on top or on the bottom of their Love ring, and I've been wanting to do that actually. Maybe that's something I'll add to the future, but it's easy to stack with other rings as well. Another pro is that if you buy from Cartier, they do a free cleaning service for you. So if you have a bunch of scratches that aren't too deep, they can just do a clean on it and then it usually gets rid of that. The last thing is that the price always goes up on these pieces. When I bought this, I bought it in Europe and it was slightly cheaper than what it costs in the US. So a year ago today, the Love wedding ring that I have was listed as $1,170 US, and today it's listed at $1,250. So it went up about 6%, and year over year, like this piece is known to just like increase in price. And I think that's like a pro and a con. It's a pro when you own the item because then you're like, oh, it's getting more expensive, like now it's more valuable. But then it's a con if you're like wanting to get it but you don't have the money to get it, because then year over year it just keeps increasing and it just feels like more and more unattainable. That's just something to keep in mind. So now we'll go into the cons of this ring. The first thing that jumps to mind is the ring is kind of sharp. I don't mean like it's pointy or anything, but like the edges aren't rounded. With other rings that I have, like the edges aren't just like flat. So like when I'm brushing my hands against it and stuff, it is smooth. But with this, since the edges are pretty rigid, it's like when I'm washing my hands, it's kind of like scraping against a hard corner, if that makes sense. It's not something that causes me pain or anything, but it's just something to think about. Most of my rings have rounded edges, so like when I first got this, it was kind of an adjustment to feel it out. Another thing is that sometimes stuff like lotion will get caught in like the indents where the Love little logos are. So there was one time I had like a black little speck in one of them and it was annoying me and I couldn't get it out with just my fingernails. So I had to find something that was like as pointy as a needle and as small as a needle so that I could like dig it out. And like I said, Cartier has a free cleaning, but with something so minor as that, it's like I'm not gonna go into the store just so they can like take that little black speck out. Very minor thing, but even when I'm putting on like lotion and stuff, I tend to take my ring off because I don't want to get a bunch of gunk stuck in it. So that's also something you should think about. The last thing is that it does scratch very easily. So it is 18 karat gold. And as you know, the more pure gold it is, the softer it's gonna be. So it does scratch really easily. And I'll go over that a little bit more in the wear and tear section of this video. Sometimes it's kind of tough because I didn't wear mine for a while because I was just scared of getting scratches on them, because I've seen pictures of people's love rings after a couple years go by and I was like, I don't want mine to get all scratched up and like not be shiny. But I've come to terms with that, so I've gotten a handful of scratches on it. If you don't want to scratch it at all, this is not the ring for you. You should not get 18 karat gold. That's another con of this ring. So the one tip I have for when you're buying this ring is something that I learned after the fact when I was shopping. The essay honestly was not too helpful, and I talk about that in the other video I filmed about all my purchases in Europe. But the essay like didn't really help me think about the long term of this ring, so I kind of just went in and like whatever fit I bought. But what I didn't think about was the fact that when it's hot outside, then like your fingers swell a little bit, so the ring might fit a little tighter on you. When it's cold outside, your fingers are going to be a little bit smaller, so the ring might slip off of you. And for me, I actually landed with a size that's like perfect. On some days when it's really cold, I find the ring slipping off my finger pretty easily, but when it's hot out, it gets a little snug. So I think the size that I have is perfect, but just think about that. So next we'll go into the wear and tear on this ring. For a little bit more context, I bought this ring a little over a year ago, but I didn't wear it for the first 6 months. So like I talked about earlier, I was always scared of getting it scratched. So I would wear it for like hour-long increments and then like take it off because I just didn't want to bang it against things. Especially like doing dishes and stuff, I got really scared about like picking up the handles on the pans and like scratching my ring. So I was very, very careful, and I just never wore it for the first 6 months. So I guess the wear and tear in this video is more of like a 6-month wear and tear and not a year-long wear and tear. So here is just what the ring looks like. And then the inside of it also has a little engraving from Cartier there. It's so hard to focus this. I don't have too many scratches on this. I've never gotten this cleaned or like buffed before. If you can see, I have a little scratch right there. I'll put an arrow in this video. I think that's like the most significant scratch I have on the ring. I also have a little dent. I will also put an arrow. You can't see it that well. Again, all the scratches and dents and stuff are like super small. But if you own the ring and you see it with your own eyes, you can see that it's a little beat up. But honestly, in this video, it looks generally really good. So this is the ring. So that is all for this video on my Cartier ring. If you're thinking about getting this ring and you have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'm happy to answer any of those for you. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to my channel. And I hope to see you in the next video.